All right, guys, we're back, and I got a quick update to give on the situation with the PBC and Canelo Alvarez. Let me say this first. It's really not looking that good for the PBC, but we're going to talk about that. But it says, according to @Shava ESPN, via Michael Benson, guys, it says Canelo Alvarez next two fights now look unlikely to be with Al Haymon's PBC, and he is instead reported to be eyeing a return to Eddie Hearn's matchroom to fight Edgar Berlanga. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, and Jaime Munguia on DAZN this year. So this is still in the rumor space. I'm sure we'll have some type of confirmation soon because May 4th is quickly approaching, and that is the fight date for Canelo Alvarez. Now, the rumor is that the PBC weren't willing to pay Canelo Alvarez a guarantee of $35 million to face off against Jermall Charlo in his next fight. They were willing to guarantee him that $35 million to face Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia is a Golden Boy fighter, so that would have been a cross-promotion deal, but the PBC felt that that fight would generate more revenue than a fight with Jermall Charlo, and I have to agree with that. Just looking at the lackluster performance of his brother Jamel in the Undisputed versus Undisputed fight, and the situation going on with Jermall with the mental health issues and alcohol, the fight just doesn't seem to resonate with fans, and they're in a situation right now where, you know, they got this deal with Amazon Prime, but they don't have a budget from Amazon Prime. It's more just a distribution deal. So they have to be extremely careful with the money because they're funding themselves. And they have to have fights that, you know, make money. You know, it's a business. And like any other business, you know, they're in the business of, you know, making a profit. So I do understand that. But at the same time, Canelo Alvarez, not being happy with that, is looking to walk. And he's looking to possibly face Edgar Berlanga next. A fight, to me, that isn't competitive. Honestly, I don't think Edgar Berlanga deserves a shot. I know where they're going with this, the Mexican versus Puerto Rican rivalry, but I don't think this is a competitive fight. I think this is a fight that Canelo Alvarez is guaranteed to win. I think the biggest fights for Canelo were on PBC. His WBC mandatory challenger, David Benavidez, or the Terrence Bud Crawford fight. I think that was the biggest fight in boxing, but I did think David Benavidez deserves a shot. So, in my opinion, I think Canelo Alvarez is ducking David Benavidez because he doesn't believe he can beat David Benavidez. David Benavidez is a threat, and if he loses to David Benavidez, there's nowhere to turn. So he has to have fighters in front of him where, you know, he has an advantage. And he definitely has an advantage over Edgar Berlanga because Edgar Berlanga hasn't fought anybody in the top 10. And quite frankly, you know, he's not that great of a boxer. In my opinion, in my humble estimation, he's not that great of a boxer. So this is what we're probably going to get. Now, I know some people are celebrating the fact that, you know, the PBC is going through hard times. And, you know, I'm not one of them. I think, you know, when a platform suffers in the sport of boxing, the sport suffers. I'll say this, though. The PBC does have some fault in this, you know, not making cross-promotion fights earlier. You know, a lot of times these platforms, they tend to want to stay in their own sandbox and not play well with the other platforms. And I think that's where the problem lies. We don't get the fights that we want. We get mediocre product. We get mismatched fights, and the fans suffer for it. And then some of the fans celebrate this type of stuff, and you know, as fans, a lot of times we just tend to eat our own tail, and it's going to get to the point where boxing is irrelevant. So I just don't understand where fans are coming from. You know, they're fans of certain fighters, but they're not a fan of the sport. It seems like they don't want the sport to survive, and I just don't get it. Whatever happened to the spirit of competition? It just seems like it's not there. It's more of a popularity contest now, and you know, it doesn't seem manly to me. You know, you should want to see the best fight the best. If you're a champion, you should be fighting the best competition. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that? So yeah, I was a little bit heated yesterday because I'm a fan of the sport and I want the best for boxing. I want boxing to survive. But You know, we're probably not going to get, you know, the biggest fight in boxing. Some who think that's the biggest fight in boxing, David versus Canelo Alvarez, or, you know, Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford. We're not going to get it. Instead, we're probably going to get Edgar Berlanga next. And I'm thinking Edgar's probably going to be next if this is true, because Eddie Hearn did say that Edgar could be ready by May. So we'll see what happens. Maybe it's Jaime Munguia. I don't know if Canelo is willing to face Mexican fighters still. That's what he said. But, you know, maybe he's changed his mind on it. But this is what we're going to get as boxing fans. And I hope you guys are satisfied. I hope you guys are satisfied. But you guys let me know what you think about this situation with the PBC, with Canelo Alvarez. Do you think this is true? Would you be happy with a Jaime Munguia fight? Would you rather him fight David Benavidez next? You guys let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.